life. So yeah, we're just gonna work even harder from now on and try our best to achieve or grab the trophy.
Well, the last time that these two teams clashed on Fracture, it was EDG that had a massive lead at the half. This time they trailed, and even then, they ended up throwing that lead away. And it was PRX that came back with a 14-12 victory with CGRS in the roster, not something. But this is a much more difficult situation. It's a much highly anticipated rematch, and yet at the moment, PRX are dominating it. EDG are gonna have to come out with some great ideas and some sick individual form to be able to bully their way through, and there's going to be a huge clash at tree.
Yep, the barriers fall. G waited out just for a moment, but Util's still good for it. Howdong tucked to the corner there. Flash try and take back that space once more. It's a squeeze from the bottom of it. Damage being done right through the box. They don't stand a chance. The spike is theirs. Well-earned prize. Chichu. Yeah, he was a solo player there. Pistol round for PRX. It's 9-4. And you're really seeing evidence, I think, you know, what Devi was talking about in that piece at the half, of where, you know, these guys are scrim partners, they understand each other's play styles inside and out, but, you know, this is a PRX that is now back up to that full strength. They're coming with new ideas. They're not playing that Neon comp that they did before.
No, true. Very true.
They have a very clear idea of how to essentially dismantle the way that EDG are playing so far on this map.
I feel like it is. I agree. It is a masterclass being showcased now for PRX. They're demonstrating a slower style too. While their attack rounds were explosive once they got to the site, they were adding in the contacty play, which is just bamboozling Edward Gaming. And this just looks like they're going to feed themselves into the more at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of kills, tasty kills at that.
Who wants the ult?
Building up the ults, Jing. Not far away from it. Showstopper's going to be a big tool here, and that is, yeah, very healthy bonus round to come into here now.
EDG in their press conference after they played against Giants said that they were playing at about a 5 out of 10, which is absurd if you watch that match and you see how well they were popping off individually. I mean, 4Ks all over the place. But I feel like they struggled in that game to deal with the change of pace of their opponent. We're dealing with something that was specifically countering them. How do they want to adapt? What do they want to do that was different? And today, at least on map 1, it is more of the same. And this time, they don't have that form advantage. PRX are shooting back, arguably even harder than EDG are. Is this a flash of alarm bot contact? I thought he was going to jump up as well. Would have been a ludicrous play.
Maybe just the condition. I mean, that one flash is used and you've seen the immediate rotation of something. Retreating back over towards B. Players grouped up towards tower. EDG are finding it hard to just poke and get an idea and feel of where these players could be.
In the meantime, PRX cleared out A halls completely. And now Devi's going looking towards Dish too.
It's going to be meeting nobody.
Devi has got a fall here, and he doesn't.
Wins that fight with a Spectre?
Yeah, that's just so rough for EDG. If they wanted any chance of being able to get back into this game, it had to be starting with the Killjoy pick that opened up the A site.
Oh, they're losing all the fights. I mean, should be favored with the rifles. They are just running them down. Kang, no more time wasted. It's the updraft and a dash to try and clear out towards the site here. Needs his team to follow suit though. Util is really bogging them down. 5 versus 3 plan. Go off here, but the aftershock is pushing them wide out into the position immediately, taking back Hall's control, clearing it together. Jump spot is punished. The Liang of a Smoggy, flash dodged. Still watching for it though, and he's got no backup. Not winning these fights. And it is dire straits right now, dire circumstances. Kang, what can you do? No safety, nowhere to stand.
PRX are just playing an incredible game currently. They take 2 duels there, just swinging with Spectres. Devi and Forsaken delete the other players on EDG. And then when they need to close the round out, they're so grouped together. They allow no openings for EDG to split them off into 1v1s and somehow pull a clutch out. They just swarm through A halls back through on the retake. EDG have been absolutely outclassed here by a PRX that's come in with great game plan, incredible form, and the confidence to be able to dismiss what this Chinese team is offering.
We haven't seen too many of the heroics that we saw prior, you know, when EDG was playing versus Giants, the amount of just 4Ks, clutches.
I also feel like that's because PRX aren't offering them those opportunities.
No, they're not.
We've seen a couple of moments that could have developed into something like that, but mostly they were spray downs where somebody got pushed by, you know, 3 or 4 people at a time and got a multi-kill. Mostly PRX have been tight together, always looking to try and trade out. And then you've got the safe hands of usually Divine and Mindfreak to close out the rounds. Both of those players, Mindfreak and Divine, they're on under 9 deaths. I mean, 6 deaths for Mindfreak, 8 deaths for Divine. They're not even in double digits of being punished.
Yeah. You think back to some of the things as well that people credit Fnatic for. You know, you've got the the brute force of Durka at the front lines as well, but right at the back, the last line of defense is going to be players like Alfier or Boaster. Even recently, you know, he's been turning up with some of these clutches, but from top to bottom, that mechanical form is able to just keep it going. And I feel like that is the case with PRX. I mean, we're looking at this team, it's even across the board.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, if one part of the system fails, it's always going to get picked up again by the other players.
Certainly looks like that at the moment. I mean, nobody is getting crunched currently and has just got to evacuate. PRX control the entirety of the north side and they're already back to try and contest.
Yeah, Ruby Maen is cleared out. It's not going to be any util to really slow them down once the nanoswarms fade away. Up towards tower though, Mindfreak. Here alone. It was 1 for 1. Plan is theirs. Positioning as well. Clearing and taking control towards B main once more. Splitting up a little bit, maybe because Jing does have the showstopper. Trailblazer towards Arcade. I know nobody's there. Still Kang towards tower. He's going to be taking first contact. Crosshair placement wasn't good for it initially, yet still he survives and gets the 1. Finally, the team have an out. Watching from main. A lot of health left to him. Forsaken. A little bit too much to do, honestly, in this instance. Realizes it himself. Impossible to win that one, so backing away, just making sure that he keeps the gun, but might not even get to do that. The flash is good. Okay.
How's he gotten away with that?
And he survives. Wait, nobody going down.
Nobody goes down as
that's
well?
quite important. Yes, EDG, they get around on the board, but you needed to keep the guns intact because the money's not looking too good.
It's not that sharp. It's not going to punish them too badly in this round, and they kind of just need to win everything anyway, so nobody's going to get away with that mistake, as is Smoggy. But that's a big round carried mostly by Kankan, being able to get the entry that his team needed. It is such a long way back, though, if he wants to take his team to a victory here on Fracture. We've seen enormous comebacks between these two squads before, but it was the other way around.
Here we go, making usage of the showstopper, the turret. Peppering.
Same thing again, though. They crunch the south side, player disappears.
All the way across the ropes here, and an instant reaction from EDG. Just the same, but flipped, essentially. Plan should be able to go down here.
Better retake positions, however, from PRX.
And an aftershock as well. Trying to plan for but a moment, gives them a bit of time here. Seekers push forwards, not all of them broken. It's going to give some decent information here to PRX. On where the players are and standing. Kang wants to really make a go of it. And it's more than that at this point. 2 kills. Blazestorm refreshed. Teammates feeling just empowered entirely. They have shut this one down. Beautiful.
That's a highlight round for the ages. That looks like pre-nerf Jet. PRX is going to take a timeout here. Kankan's had 2 back-to-back rounds, where his individual prowess has carried EDG to the finish line. What are these shots? A right-click on Mindfreak as well at the end. Incredible performance there from Kankan. Opens up both of the rounds and closes that one out. He's made this a little closer, especially with PRX's economy being slightly damaged here. They've got a serious decision on their hands of whether or not to invest into the next. I think that's what he'll be telling the rest of the team. They look like they need a bit of a confidence increase at the moment. We know that the EDG players are talented. It's not just Kankan and friends. moment, we're not really seeing that from the rest of EDG. They're getting outclassed.
Respect being shown with the timeout being called, though. But yeah, it is outclassing. But you gotta just, I mean, look at it one round at a time.
Here.
To be honest, I'm not sure how much input Coach Alex can even have about how the previous round went down. The way that Kankan was taking those fights, there's not too much opportunity to trade. He's diving around all over the place. Maybe just concerned that his team keeps crunching, keeps going for these aggressive pushes at the beginning, but to be honest, it looks like they're set up for another one. Got double initiator on one side, trying to keep EDG trapped in spawn, and then Jing flying at them through halls. Slower though this time.
Yeah, Stimmy will allow them to evade that stun. It's coming their way. Flash. So going to be avoided here. Obfuscating the fact that they have just trundled up towards B main here. Nano Swarm behind. Slowed it down now in the mid round. That's what EDG have really learned from a lot of their experience at these international events, actually. The ability to really just slow down those moments, take the space, poke and prod, push people out to the open.
Oh, I thought they were going to go for a contact play there. Would have been very impressive, but I think without them making too much noise, and with this Trailblazer, the Guardian Light clearing over towards Arcade, I don't think PRX are going to be buying this fake towards B. I think Haodong has just used 2 smokes for nothing.
Jing gonna try and stop this! The onslaught coming his way, and he does succeed at that. 2 players falling. There's a stun to try and catch Defy, who was helping him out, but the door closing shut in their face. It's now very obvious. EDG, a bit of a breather.
Shishu just got locked down. Is there any chance he's got time to be able to use this? There's only 30 seconds left.
Has to commit it, really.
This is gonna go down to the wire.
But the trouble is, the more time you're wasting, getting a bit dire. Got to get themselves in. Maybe they use Smoggy's hold off the tail end of it to try and get themselves in.
Brutal.
Chichu falls. Smoke's now fading. 12 seconds. That will go down here. Detainment close to the corner here. Fight's still going to be taken, but it's just one player. Yeah, Smoggy. He's got so much more to do, hasn't he? An open sightline out towards Main. He can't win it. It's Forsaken. PRX just feel, I mean, so many layers ahead right now. In terms of just the game plan, feels like adjustments are still being made by EDG. Coming into it with good ideas of how they want to play, but
too little, too late.
Too little, too late, yeah.
And also, even when we're talking about the quality of the ideas, I'm not a big fan of the fake that Haodong ran. EDG love to throw a fake in, you know, 1 or 2 times per map, something like that on their attack side. And this time, they didn't actually throw enough utility to make it seem real. They just popped down the 2 smokes, one at Canteen, one at Generator, and then Forsaken's in tower, listening, can't hear anything. Flash towards Arcade, didn't see anything there. Too obvious that everything was coming towards Jing in that moment. And this looks like a clash potentially to end it all as PRX try and batter their way through.
Classic play from Jing, but actually punished.
Almost.
Loves to go for the double satchel movement.
Nobody doesn't realize how close he was to hitting the grave there.
Potentially falling. It's a beautiful opener. Good beginning. Trailblazer scoping out. Seeing that the site's relatively clean. Something with just the one. Chichu, it's a little bit labored, but no, eventually getting onto it. So 2 players left standing here. I mean, really no chance of a retake. Forsaken's only got the judge with Maen Bareng falling. He's going to be opting to see if he can get a better gun. There it is.
It's worth saving here as well. You look at the PRX economy, and they only need a single round to close this out. They've had 6 opportunities. It's going to go down to 5, but at some point they're going to get big ultimates up that will make this really difficult for EDG to end with a plant. I mean, anytime you have Orbital Strike, Rolling Thunder, Showstopper, like these ults are incredibly good on defense side of Fracture. One of the reasons why this composition gets played quite a lot. EDG are going to have their work cut out for them. They need more of the same.
Of the same. They've got themselves to 7. Has to be 5 more rounds in a row. A chance to get it to OT. It's a bit more difficult as well from this point on. The ultimates are going to start to get really built up, flowing a bit more. PRX are currently sitting on their rolling thunder. They've got the lockdown as well. Money is...
They're going to force?
It's tight. I mean, it's a weird buy, right?
It's, you know, it's not that bad of a buy. They've got 2 Bulldogs, 3 rifles. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, so they are investing into it, puts even more importance onto it, even though, I mean, every round has to be must-win for EDG at this point.
Slow siege down onto Chishu, but not the fast crunch. Doesn't give him any timings to zip away on the rope. EDG playing that 4-1 and contacting through Dish. Very similar to what PRX did. The difference being this alarm bot they're about to run into.
It will catch him.
So they choose to use the utility a little further
Hello.
back.
Rolling thunder out
Chishu.
towards it. Yeah, the Trailblazer actually connecting. It's only one player. I mean, it's just Jing close to the side. Nade flushing Chichu out. Able to take a clean fight. Orbital strike blinded up. Something lucky to survive here. Smoke's going to be fading in just a moment. Will he hit the shot? Enough damage done. Certainly bringing down these targets, and this is it. The final blow to finisher, 13-7. Just a fundamental outclass from PRX. They came more than ready.
Extremely good ideas right from the beginning of this map. And also winning a ton of duels. We're seeing some shakiness from the Edward Gaming players that I haven't seen since before they won their first match on the international stage at Tokyo. Since then, there's been a wave of confidence firing them up.
Now you're going to have to see if they can bring that one back.
PRX take map #1 over EDG in their rematch. I'm joined by Alex, the coach of the team, and I want to ask you, you've already played EDG and beaten them at Tokyo. How does this version of EDG at Champions compare, and how have you guys had to adapt to this team?
I think it's a funny thing because every time we play EDG, it's been a different roster, right? So I think we changed our comp. We're using theirs now. And I think we kind of know what's bad on defense for us when we play that comp, so we're just trying to do whatever we're not good at, and it seems to be working.
Well, it worked well for you in map #1. Best of luck in the rest of the series, and thank you very much. Send things back to the desk.
Oh, Alex is more than working. PRX, they look absolutely fantastic on Fracture. I'm Yingsu, I'm back here with Tom. And Mitch, I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that, I won't lie. But Tom, it was just almost flawless on the side of PRX.
Yeah, it was a really scary attack side where a lot of the time it felt like they would just do the same thing again and again and again and just almost play into their opponent's adaptations. Like there were a lot of ideas being attempted by EDG, and every time they just basically contacted directly into them, and it was just really difficult to play against.
Yeah, it's one of those games that comes along once in a lifetime, really, where absolutely everything you're doing, especially in that first half, was just lining up for them. I don't really feel like kind of going 5 or 6 rounds into the game, it felt like we knew the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this, Tom. This is what you were talking about, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, they just kept contacting Dish. Like either that or they would do the same thing through a main, and it just seemed like very, very easy openers for them. And the fact is, even when there were adaptations, like throwing the operator in, it just seemed like they had the right read almost every single time. They would put players in the right position, and PRX would just rip them a new one with like Jing finding entries and everything of the sort. It was just seemingly very, very easy for them to get into these sites. And okay, I do feel like in some of the post plants it got a little bit shakier, and it came down to the likes of Maen Bareng and Divide to actually pull the round over the line. But when you're getting openers in almost every single round in a post plant, you're gonna get most of them over the line.
Yeah, we spoke about Forsaken and the expectation really coming into this of where he'd be, maybe on the Neon, but I think he was looking absolutely fantastic on the Sky, not just on an individual level, but supportively as well. I'm looking at the other supportive agent on the board, our Breach. I don't think anyone's going to have complaints about that.
Yeah, they just look so good everywhere. I'm glad you mentioned Maen Bareng and Divide, because so often you look at this PRX team, you always go towards Jing and Forsaken now with something in the roster as well. He's getting a lot of attention, but Tom, Divide and Maen Bareng are just so consistent.
Yeah, I still feel like they're underrated as players. Like, the fact is, when you have this level of chaos that are coming through, when you have something in Jing, maybe a little bit less on this map, and then Forsaken is someone who plays a lot of agents but still plays them slightly insane at times. You then have these two players as like the rocks of the team who go, okay, you've kind of like maybe thrown this one a little bit. We'll just be the chill guys in the back line who will just clean up the mess you've made.
Yeah, that's why Maen Bareng, for a long time, he's been one of my favorites. I mean, I've got his jersey at home, signed up and everything.
You didn't bring it here?
Yeah. Actually, it is here. It's in my suitcase. I wanted to wear it today, but I'm biased or something. But today, I think it definitely is a time for us Maen Bareng fans out there to get stonks, because he's...
Maen
Barekers? Yes, Tom! Yes!
But no, he was up to some magic on the server today.
Yeah, he was indeed. But the thing is, EDG, they were trying their best. I think there was a degree of maybe being a little bit scared or not knowing what to do in certain situations. But Kong is still Kong. So let's take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment. It could have gone to quite a few Kong moments, actually. But when they were 11-5 down, Mitch, and you got a player that does this, you can't complain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is, as Sideshow said it in the moment, just looking like pre-nerf Jet, and he was flying around that site. You talk about being uncomfortable. It was anything but in this moment, and it just, that updraft, boom, it's so perfect. Even slowed down, it looks too fast.
Yeah, I think my main worry, though, is that a lot of what we talked about with their victory yesterday was nobody having a fantastic game and being that second level, because Kong played well, but he wasn't needed to be the superstar in that matchup. This time he did need to be, and he still fragged fantastically, did a great job, and they weren't close to winning this game.
Now you're making me less excited about map 2. I'm excited regardless, because I think we're going to get 3 maps. I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, looking at the last play that you have, Billy was the squad that they were taking on over on the side of EDG, and coming into this tournament, I probably wouldn't have put any rating behind that matchup, but they dominated them, and Billy have looked good here on the international stage, so it's not something that I'm going to take away from them necessarily, but bouncing back from their map pick being lost like that is going to be tough.
off.
I mean, that's the thing though. EDG, they have bounced back. We've seen it. They're not a team that just kind of rolls over, especially after what happened to Tokyo. They do put their heart and soul into this. And if we, I mean, even for nobody, map 1 was a real anomaly. It's been a really long time since we've seen him have a performance like that.
Oh no, for sure. I don't think it's something, or I hope it won't be something that's a consistent factor throughout the entirety of this matchup. And he's still going to be playing that Sky, or likely will be going into Pearl. So I don't think it's the end of the world, but I'm a little bit scared for them because that was their choice.
Well, I like to see how they're feeling right now. So let's send this down to Mimi with After and see what he has to say ahead of map 2.
Coach, after a tough map number 1 for EDG, you've already played this team at Tokyo without something in the mix. How does it feel to play them now with something, and how does it compare to your expectations?
第一张图没有能拿下是非常非常遗憾的。那之前在东京对阵到 PRX 的时候是不完整体，这一次在冠军赛的舞台上面对到的是有 something 的 PRX。想问一下，你觉得差异在哪里，以及说跟预想当中的一个情况比较相似吗？
其实预想都在意料之中，就感觉确实压迫感会更强一点，比起在东京大师赛的时候。然后有伤定的时候，我感觉他们更敢去做一个枪法的对峙，所以我感觉压力变得挺大的。就是在场上的任何一个变化，只要有一点失误，我感觉他们就能抓住我们。所以我觉得PRX 是一个强大的对手，但是我们经过调整之后，我们也会调整好下一把的内容。
Definitely with something, I feel all the situations kind of expected, to be honest. We feel definitely more pressured with something in PRX, and also even in the matches, whenever we give out some mistakes or windows, they can always catch the opportunities and just fight back. So we feel like something is very, very the key player in PRX to help them to play even more aggressive as a whole team. Also, I feel like PRX is a very strong opponent, but definitely will adjust some issues and our problems, and to become better, to improve on map 2.
Definitely going to be difficult to do, but best of luck on map number 2. Thank you very much, and I'll send things back to the desk.
Thank you very much, guys. Like After said, they gotta fight. They gotta fight back. And if there's anything EDG is good at, Tom, it is fighting.
Yeah, but there's a part of me that goes like, oh yeah, it was really difficult to deal with something in the last map. Well, now he actually plays the agent he's good at. Like now he goes on to Jet. So I'm a little bit scared for them. I mentioned that nobody would be playing the Sky. It's actually not the case. They've switched things up here, moved away from the Harbor Viper for starters, bringing in the Omen, which I don't necessarily mind, especially with the changes to Pearl, but also nobody onto that Fade.
Yeah, it's a very interesting Prime Gaming agent to select here. Mitch, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I think it's a good change. I think I like Omen a lot more. I was saying in our cast earlier, I don't really even find a map where I'm a massive fan of Harbor. I think the important thing to note is, like, we're talking about Edward Gaming fighting back into this series. That's how Giants fell, right? It was the EDG came up against them. They lost the first map, but it was so close. It was an incredibly close OT. This time they're bouncing back from a much, much worse position, and arguably against a better opponent.
I think the other thing as well to mention is this could be a direct adjustment to PRX. Like, you don't want to run screens into a Phoenix and a Sky. You're basically just giving them burst potential through these thin walls. Yeah. So I think it actually will help them a little bit to have slightly more standard smokes that they can utilize against this specific comp.
Yeah, of course, it's not something that PRX could have prepared for as well, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Everyone, come on, EDG, they need your energy. Send it to them. I want to see a map 3. Brandon Sideshow, over to you.
Love to see it happen, really would here. But yeah, PRX on this map, they are so damn active. Double flash comp, playing it with the Phoenix. They love to fight over it, and I'm seeing these compositional changes. I mean, EDG as well, opting into, you know, the Fade, the double smokes of the Omen and the Viper. It is a lot slower. I don't think of it as a very, you know, as a composition that can really rapidly take a lot of that map control.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that. I also think it's a very unusual composition. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anybody running this comp. I don't know where EDG have cooked this one up, but it's interesting for sure. You get nobody swapping his role. Had a really, really rough map 1. Went 5 and 15, 0 and 5 in first kills. Nobody's form has got to swap up if EDG have a chance here. And he's got to find value with the Fade. I mean, same thing for Haodong too. But here comes a clash.
It's a classic.
Led by Jing.
Yep, it's the flashes all the way. You can see it. Jing is there. Ready for it though. Contacting through. It's all EDG. Kill feed. It's filled up with red.
Awesome stuff from Kankan.
Yeah. That's almost to clear out towards the smoke, so we're able to get the plant down here.
Spike.
Play into this round, yet still something. He's alive and kicking. Dash is there, but he doesn't actually see any players.
Here.
Very diligent with the clearance, just onto the corner. Something sticking to the fuse, needs to be covered, but gets off of it a little bit too much.
Weak.
A lot of damage being done as well. Yeah, pushing them out of position though. Nobody's got the cross here. Yeah, something too much to overcome.
So a great start from EDG. They win the fight as both teams just walked into each other over towards A main. Partly because Kankan was able to get so much value done. I think he bought the classic and the half armor in that round, which ended up being fairly important, to be honest. Just hit a right click and was able to survive with enough health still to have impact in the fight. This battle between Kankan and Something has been so anticipated. We didn't quite get to see it in its full form in Fracture, with Something playing Breach as he usually does. But this map is often about how you set the Jets up. Very similar kind of clash here again into A main, as Jing really leads the charge, Something instead taking the Sheriff for a walk in mid.
And not hiding the intent of it. Big rotations away. I mean, well, no scope does the job. No armor on Jing, so single shot will do it. And real grand opportunity. See a couple of ults farmed up against some of the weaker players.
I mean, if Kankan can get these kills,
He's 3 away.
yeah, he's got a great chance of being able to get a Blade Storm online and maybe win a bonus round. He's the player that wants to be trying to take contact. Meanwhile, Smoggy is miles away. And PRX, I mean, are they just intending to die to Spike here?
Yeah, it would be the real play here from behind Smoggy. That's a cheeky angle. Don't really expect that too much. Kankan is desperate for these kills now. Once he realizes what's going on, one shot found. Will he tag it? Will he get it? Team stealing all of them. It's Prime Gaming Flawless.
Have a word with Chichu. Have a word. We're building up the Blade Storm. Control yourself.
Who's denied the chance of getting that one? Still only 2 away.
And a Prime Game of Flawless, you're never going to be too mad about that. There's 2 attack-sided portals on this map. Wow.
Missed that one.
What a play happening behind the scenes. So there's certainly some danger here. Kankan's going to start with a Spectre, so maybe not just planning to ult orb farm. Looks like another clash in A main again. PRX want to fight over B, but that's not where EDG are pushing things. Something on the swing.
Yeah.
Kind of deletes the wrong player, to be honest.
I mean, he's going for the player picking up the orb. Kankan. Let's collect it. Not fast enough to return with the 5, but Something trying to pick up Ard again. There was that quick reaction of EDG.
That's a Vandal that cannot be defended.
Yeah, it's ground gained. The PRX are very quick once more.
Smoggy's utility does not watch the flank. It watches mid and then the connector.
Missing this. Realistically as well, Mindfreak just needs to survive. They don't even know it. No expectations and no awareness! Again, that flank was just creeping up behind them. 2 players removed, deleted instantaneously. Smoggy. Planted really for him as well, not when he's just being approached from that direction. So PRX, clean win of their own. 4 players surviving in this one, but yeah, pretty big misstep I would say as well in terms of the EDG protocols. The way they set that one up, they had no idea.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. I mean, that's the responsibility of these 2 guys right here, Kankan and Chichu. Once they back off into main, they need to be watching and aware that there could be some kind of push through flank. I think had they even had the awareness though, that Phoenix Flash would have done its job.
Yeah.
And the timing there was very quick from PRX because they went for an explosive push down B long and nobody could hear. EDG weren't really playing a spread default that was getting info on that side of the map. And now we get another clash. So many of these have gone the way of PRX.
Most of the time, in fact. Here we go.
Oh, God.
And again, it's the flashes. They're so damn good at setting you up. Out on the OTP to the side. Let's get the one. Nobody. Instantly there. Shuts that one down. Divide. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
I got the spike.
So finally, EDG end up winning these duels as both teams clash into each other. It didn't look great to open up. Howdong just teleporting straight into an Nanoswarm. But they're able to brawl it out. Maybe this is a sign of better things to come for EDG. on a map where PRX are excellent usually. This Jet Phoenix composition has been so good for PRX. Little pause in the game here just to make sure that nothing funny's going on. You must close out a 4v2.
Yeah. They clear out Mind Freak, sat towards the back of balls. Still being used. The horn actually did not clear him. Ball up as well. Granted a chance, an opportunity. It's Mind Freak. They'll jump on it soundly. Very glad for it, but doubled up. Kang. Make sure to clear out that area. Something. This last player left here. Threw into the box. Oh. I love that. Great face. All together there. Making sure there's no chance really at all for something to get going.
Taking a look at the replay, you see Nonton getting away with murder there, to be honest with you. And nobody escapes from the pull to be able to punish Jing. I appreciate also that when they were in the 4v2, you know, they realized that there was a player towards the back there, Mind Freak. And as he swung out, they were expecting the second player from PRX. There's a lot of respect being shown. They anticipate that these things are normally going to be synced up. Here's another brawl. It's like another team fight happening over on the other side of the map.
I mean, almost like we're deciding the rounds on coin flips right at the bloody beginning. All that utility is far too good. All purchased and built up. Jing, he wants even more. Flash is great. It's fantastic. Everyone alive and kicking.
It's over.
On the PRX side.
It's not even 20 seconds into the round.
Yeah, and that was honestly what I was expecting maybe from Fracture. We didn't see too much of it. A lot of gambles in terms of contact plays kicking off, but really this has just been brute force at the extremities to decide so many of these rounds.
To bring it back to one of your previous points though, Brent, there's 4 lanes on Fracture. I mean, there's like a 25% chance, I guess, that they like run into each other. Here it feels like there's so much more likelihood that they're going to clash.
And PRX, you know, when they play this composition, they do love to fight over that A main orb all the time for a variety of reasons. They can build up Jing's ult, build up multiple ults as well, pretty key as well as part of their game plan, but also just helps you take control of the map.
You get that on camera.
So yeah, another prime game in Flawless at that one.
I think they're going to get their money's worth today. These rounds are just being decided so decisively, one way or another.
You don't really, I mean, with the composition as well, I just want to circle back to it. It is a lot slower from EDG when they're playing this, and I feel like they can't fight as effectively over this area. I mean, you don't really have an Astra for any sort of like stuns, pulls. You don't have any hard flashes by not running the sky.
Yep.
You kind of have to take it a bit slower, I think, and try and bait out the response initially before you jump in.
Counterpoint, you could stack it with 5 players.
Which is what they're doing once more. And look, there's a star at their feet, there's a molly behind them. They're not worried, though. Being shoved off or conditioned.
But they just lose so much info around the rest of the map when they do this. If this is their answer, you have to go into an A exec very quickly, because otherwise, you have no idea what's happening elsewhere. This time they do have the lockdown, but they've got to be cautious of the flank. There is still that turret and now an alarm bot from Smoggy doing work that really wasn't present in the prior when they got flanked.
Util tended to really choke them out. Both the Nanosauls committed to the back of the site, but no one is there. Look at this flank once more. There is an alarm bot. 3 players towards Art on the flank.
I mean, they are definitely expecting the retake to come through Secret and Flowers.
Surely.
They are not expecting flank and Art.
And they've already used the paranoia towards the back of it as well, looking to try and refight over for that space. To get Smokes just kind of cutting up and partitioning out the side.
And now it's not planted for them.
It's not planted for them. It's flipped on its head. Trailblaze into the back, that stun. There is the connection. Something sticking onto the fuse, but broken through the wall. EDG, they're winning the fight out. There's Carnage. No one looking towards the side here. Devi is there, top of the wall. 1v2, players are weak. He's done enough damage. 7 bullets, spotted it. Down to the classics, down to the wire. Oh, where's the time? It's not there. It's good cleanup. But a round win for EDG.
An incredible round there. Great try from Devi. But it's EDG that end up taking it. There's a couple of crucial moments that I wanted to point out, one of which being Kankan actually got the spray through the wall onto something and denied the defuse from coming through at the beginning. And then Jing's wall ended up helping EDG more than it did anyone else. They were able to sneak around the back and kill some of those people. That's what it means. Passion. Not great for the EDG economy, but I don't think they're worried about that particularly. A 4-2 lead is so much better than anything they had on Fracture.
Set their sights as well drag it to that map number 3. Here's something with an operator.
But here's my problem, Bren, with what EDG's approach is. Now that they're not 5-person barreling into A main, isn't it obvious for PRX that they're not A? I mean, if you have to take A with 5 players when they don't hear anything, look how confident Something and Mindfreak are of just re-clearing this area. They know that there's nobody around. I mean, the only person that's around is nobody.
He's going to haunt up in a few seconds. I'm hearing a few giggles at that. You can't. It's low-hanging fruit.
Here. Can't help it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a
Paranoia.
re-clear.
Clearance behind the box. Mindfreak still alive, actually. The flash did not connect to him, but there's an Anna Swarm to try and clear him out. Attention brought towards it. Something. Is he going to help him out? And once more, Devi is there, but it's traded. 2 versus 2. Spike. Hands of Smoggy.
6 players died trying to fight over A main control.
I mean, it's...
Chichu just wanders through an alarm bot. Picks it up as his new pet.
30 seconds left.
I know mid's contained.
At some point here, Forsaken's going to start wondering why the plant isn't going down on A. And that's going to keep Jing fairly rooted to B.
I mean, he's got a molly as well to try and deny if he can. Get
got
onto the
everything.
default spot. If this gets planted close to the corner, really,
10 seconds.
it's Chichu that has to defend it.
10 seconds left.
Here it is. 8 seconds left inside the smoke.
Great play.
Beautiful by Chichu. He had to defend that space. Leave it to Forsaken though. Rifle. But in the 1v2, already that crossfire setup as well. Chichu with a jump spot. Smoggy's there. He's got a turret for one side of it. Great snake bite. And yeah, the fight back from Smoggy. In the moment setups as well. It's what EDG do really well, I think, in just terms of how they play off of each other. When they get into those chaotic scenarios, you can't plan for it. But the communication is rock solid.
That's a major moment from Haldong. Devi responded almost immediately and left things down into a 2v2. Chichu did a great job on the lurk. Frankly, the lurk has not been a particularly impactful role with how quickly these rounds have been decided. So it's nice to see the lurker being able to find some value in this. It's now PRX that are on the back foot. It feels like the ideas are solid from them. Their composition's good at being able to fight over these areas of the map. Sure, sometimes they're losing out. But a lot of the time, it feels like they should be favored. And yet, EDG are still finding their ways of being able to pull ahead. If you discount the pistol and the follow-up, it is much more even. It's only 3-2 in favor of EDG. So in terms of your big picture rifle round ideas, it's not going as badly as it might seem for PRX. But still badly enough for Coach Alex to want to have his own input.
Yeah, especially with the money situation looking a bit rough. Something does have knives heading into this next one, but is it enough to force a buy-up around potentially? It's probably what they're discussing right now in that timeout. What they want to do and play towards here.
Yeah, by the way, Something has an operator.
Okay, got that purchase for him.
I mean, he already
that
has
was
the Blade Storm. He has the Blade Storm. Is there a reason for Devi to only have a Guardian here when... I don't know. They must feel like the operator is a crucial tool to be able to work this defense.
Yeah.
And there's going to be another insane clash towards A main again.
Kang has a judge. Flash pull, TP past it. Haldong
Nice seize.
He's staring at the floor. Haunt. It's good with a connection, but no kills to be found on either side. Trailblazer, re-peek, refight. Jing. He's eager for it. Wants to draw blood. And fast to try and push them off and away. Lovely spam onto the corner. They spotted him out. The star was just in time.
So PRX put themselves into a 5v4. EDG, though, have the space that they've been hunting for this entire time. So what is the plan B? If you're not going to instantly pivot into an A hit, which is most of what we've seen when they've had lockdown and stuff on board, now that Kankan's dead and you don't have that entry player, what's plan B? You've won the map control battle at the cost of your star. They're looking to try and hide from the guiding light that's going to flash re-clear this area.
Yep. And then re-hit. I like it. It's a cheeky idea.
Except Devi doesn't even have one online.
In fact, he's watching mid because he has control of that, so he's wondering about the flank. As they attempt to re-hit, I mean, It's going to be a slight moment if they're
30
fast enough. The
seconds
Divide
left.
won't be there ready and waiting, but they are walking into 2 players.
Nightfall is going to be disastrous for Mindfreak, I think, who's just sat close on this corner. Mindfreak's got to dip inside the smoke here if he has a chance, I feel.
Using a horn first, over the top as well, blinded up, no one clears that corner, close! Spamming away, he's got the pistol back out ready for it, 12 seconds, this is a disaster for EDG. Another prime game in Flawless. I mean, these rounds inherently have been so lopsided.
I did not think that the round was going to end like that, though. I mean, EDG are hitting with a Nightfall in through. I mean, they paranoia the player close as well. How does Mindfreak find value in that spot? No. What is that from Jing as well? Just backpedal spraying. That's a brutal round. But exactly what PRX needed. Coming straight out of their tactical timeout, they've broken the economy of EDG. These things have been just on a knife's edge when it comes to the economy because, like you're saying, Brett, the rounds have been blowouts. We haven't had a close round.
It's been a weird game to watch and observe here. Jing wants to have a go of it, re-clearing. He can back out without a hold. Blinded himself! If he didn't do that, I would have spotted him. Haodong! Oh, he got a cheap haircut. He's still alive.
Look how much space EDG have taken in the meantime.
And they have, yeah. Sucked it all up there, straight down into mid. There's nothing watching them. Definitely have the guns here. Jing really wants to have another go at this.
Same thing again!
Same thing again. A lot of damage being done.
At least this time the flash came from Haodong and not from Jing.
Haodong is caught, though.
Look at the flank, though, Brett.
Out to dry.
Look at all of this space that was gained through mid, back through Waterfall, and Smoggy and Kang.
Yeah. Look at the map for them. Here's a pit. Cuts off away that A main choke. Nightfall being used with the Seekers. Can't quite follow them as well for any sort of easy kills. Job is left up to PRX to see if they can contain this. They gotta know players could be pushed into these positions, but EDG are just holding the site. There's a lockdown. Any play in mind to try and push this one back. It's not the greatest lockdown in the world. There is some spots to play into. The pit won't be going down as a result of it. And yeah, catching onto Forsaken. And Entertainments doesn't look it. They are finding it hard to chew through. And a decision has to be made, yeah. You have to give it up. When the Vipers pit's down in that scenario, really good adjustments just in the moment from EDG.
Yeah, what a great call. I mean, Haodong and nobody survived for so long getting pressured there over towards A main. They cause enough of a distraction for Kang and Smoggy to get all the way through mid, down through water, and flanking around onto the A players. I think PRX are going to have to make an adjustment there potentially and put Forsaken's alarm bot, you know, somewhere deeper towards mid if they want to play like this. Now that EDG have found that opening. But how bizarre that we see all of the ultimates invested in this round, where EDG didn't have the rifles compared to the prior, where they chose not to go for the Nightfall. Smoggy, one away from the lockdown. An awesome offensive tool to keep the momentum rolling for Edward Gaming.
All propped up. Chance being led for EDG.
Here.
Keep this lead all the way through. This is such a naughty angle. Look at that! Oh my, I believe it was the turret.
Oh, that was the turret
Yeah.
finding the other headshot.
Baiting us, but...
Forsaken and Timmy, both with the headshots.
Exactly, and it's disgusting that. I mean, really just know what to really do, but Kang, he's instantly there with a response once more. Doesn't want to back away.
A great answer. Now Mindfreak's going to get pushed here. He's sat on top of his own alarm bot, so it doesn't even do work for him. Watching.
Yep. From the side here, cleaned up. It's fallen to pieces a bit for PRX. He was on the other side of the map here with the operator now aiming to retake. Does have the Blade Storm, Jing.
Placing swap grenade.
Blaze is broken, flash into the back, playing anti. Kang wins his. Still there though, out into the open, Divide. That sightline, excellent flash. Pushes them back and away, and it's not planted for these players. EDG have to white face this one. Unconventional, really unorthodox. It's a miss from something. Divide is left alone here, and no time really to do so. Great snake bite. Even if Divide wanted to, he could not stand his ground there. Beautiful work.
Edward Gaming really starting to flex their muscles here. Both teams looking strong on the opponent's map pick after making a compositional change. I'm not convinced it's necessarily the comp, though, that's getting EDG across the line here, but I mean, they are hitting some nice shots. This one, of course, from the opposite side, but Kankan goes down and just instantly entries and opens up B for them. All of the good work that Forsaken does at the start with the cheeky spots, kind of peeking through the turret's legs, undone in a moment. More A-main fights. It's like they're doing a drill.
Yeah, but this time it's PRX who just waited out, bait the util, and now they want to strike back almost immediately. A flash forwards, it's catching, but there was a smoke in the way. Nobody didn't get blinded from that one. He's able to return the fire, bring down Jing.
Something's been healed back up. And in the meantime, Forsaken's watching mid, so that's a big difference compared to where he had his utility last time PRX decided to fight for A main. And you saw the lurk plays coming all the way through. He can pull back his alarm bot as PRX take a look over towards Art. And that allows Forsaken a little bit of the freedom just to jump spot B long as well. So PRX have some pretty good information right now, but they must still be wondering where EDG are. Rest of EDG just kind of regrouping to eventually hit down towards what is the weaker site.
It's looking like a retake. Freak does have the Cosmic Divide for this one, so not going to be hard pressed about it, but
the lockdown's just a great tool here, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it does allow PRX the chance, though, to get close and try to play potentially to deny this plant from going down. Or at least to play a very fast retake.
Oh, back into the corner here, they're spamming down. All of it. Forsaken, though, is cleaned out towards backcourt. So still a flank attempt by something. He's right behind him now. Should be able to get a sight line onto one of the players. Yep, Smoggy caught to the corner, but he wants the players live. No! Out to the side there, Chichu. If he could receive it. 200 APM from something. Really making sure that they are clearing every perceivable angle. Left up to Smoggy, and yeah, not a chance there. So yes, the lockdown, it did clear out a large portion of the site there, but it made it glaringly obvious with something already flanking that they could just
Not ready yet.
again get a flank going as well, as soon as the plan starts happening.
It's also a bit of a time factor there too. PRX realized that it had to be a B hit because there's only 20 seconds left. They're able to rotate everyone over, even if the lockdown was
One enemy remaining.
Hidden story here that we haven't been talking too much about. Something kind of struggling to have impact in terms of his fragging potential. There's been a few moments at this point where I've seen him with an op and, you know, miss a shot or have a rifle, have Bladestorm, have some opportunity to have impact, and we really just haven't seen him stepping up in the same way that Kankan has.
Has been missing ever so slightly.
He did say yesterday that he was a little nervous when he first stepped onto the stage. He said he was shaking for the first 6 or so rounds, then relied on Alex and his teammates to kind of pick those nerves back up. You got to remember he's a rookie.
Fowler broken. Again, that flash reclearance. Kankang way off the mark with the smoke here, but it is an attempt through Art. 3 players there. Smokes are being laid down slowly, steadily. Jing, fast, instantly there. And again, that flash is so damn good. It's a connection and a refight. All confidence from them. The spike is dropped into the middle of nowhere. Pushing contact in through main. Kankang, he's found a timing and an angle here. Util out in the hands. Flash. It's still good. Updraft though, there's no punish in sight. Kankang is still alive and kicking. Spam through. Can't land it, can't connect it. It's all to buy. 7-5 in the half. Damage control really for PRX. It's what it felt like on either side, but a weird half at that.
It certainly has been a strange half of Valorant. We've seen clashes all over the place. And PRX desperate to try and hold on with those final 2 rounds. Excellent round from Jing and Divine to find the value and close things out.
Any liberators? Yeah.
My thoughts exactly with some of these rounds, but it's been fun. Anyone's game.
Anyone's game still. Very exciting first half. Let's send it down to Mimi, who's got a special guest as well. Nice little interview.
So let's see if it works.
Yeah, I'm joined here by Jojimo from EG. Guys, give it up for Jojimo! You guys have already qualified for playoffs, so you're just here chilling in the crowd. What's it been like watching?
I mean, it's just a great experience. I love seeing it from the crowd. I love being part of the crowd, and I love seeing all the fans that are here. And I appreciate all you guys coming out today, so give it up for
Does it make you more excited for playoffs?
Oh, of course. I can't wait to see the next stage. I mean, even the next game that we have, like, it's still going to be a great crowd always, so.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I see you have a sign here. Jing greater than less than Jojimo. You're one of the best race players in the scene. Jing is as well. What does the sign mean? How do you rate him?
I mean, he got some crazy movement, but like, can I match his movement? Probably. So like, we'll see him in the next stage. So yeah, I can't wait.
Okay. He thinks he's up to snuff. Another player on PRX that people have been really excited for is probably one of the most long-awaited debutants. It's something. What have you made of his debut thus far?
It looks really good. Like, I still like him on Breach. Like, he's going crazy on Breach as well. And like, whenever he plays Jet, I know that he's gonna come out and play his game. But I want to see that matchup versus Demon One versus something for sure.
Yeah, so you're looking forward to playing PRX, that's your hope?
Yes, that's my hope for sure.
All right, well, this game, it's been close thus far, but EDG looking good on the second map. Who do you think's taking this one?
I think EDG's taking it home.
All right, some belief in EDG. Guys, one more time for Jojimo. Thanks so much. Let's get the second half underway.
I love that, honestly, as well. I mean, Jojimo, match at hand, he's like, yeah, I want to play against PRX.
Yeah, I know.
Fully rooting for them.
Hey, I mean, one of these teams actually might not even end up making it out of groups. There's some scary teams still in this group.
It's a crazy prospect, but I mean, Group A is looking like the strongest group that we've got at this event, I have to say.
That's what makes this match a really important one too. As much as, you know, this is the title game of Group A that everyone's been looking forward to, there's some danger too. Giants played an excellent match and Crew's been on a heater, though they did end up getting put down in their first game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Don't think Jojimo took math class though. Don't think he had any clue what he was doing with the greater than,
not too sure. I mean, I can see the timer ticking down as well. I'll have to get the halftime off the screen because we are heading straight back into the action very quickly here. Pistol round beginnings.
So what have EDG got cooked up with this composition on defense? Something Kang looking like they might clash in art.
It's a turret to take contact here, even if Kang doesn't spot them, but he can hear them. That's why the dash is there, and the right click's doing enough for it. Paranoia actually colliding with him. Taodongs. There's safety in numbers and plenty of them here.
4 players just all ready to try and collect something, and I love this call from Haldong. Gonna go and re-explore through A main, looking to try and catch the other half of this split.
It's really nice.
Not going to find anybody, but it's lovely information to work with.
Exactly, and you can even keep a player here if you choose, or you can just really commit to the flank. Spotted out, Devi catches it.
Are they going to smoke the turret? I mean, the turret, I think, ended up getting broken.
Yeah, broken anyway. Devi in danger here, but there's only one player to meet him. It's him versus Kang. Devi was actually eager to take that fight, pushed forwards, past it. The reaction from PRX already taped onto the side, trying to spam into the smokes, but again, TDG are so rapid on the approach here. They've got all the player advantage and leave it up to just Forsaken. He can't do it. And against that,
great idea from EDG over in art.
It's the evidence, honestly, that international experience that EDG have got now, where they make these in-the-moment calls at the mid-rounding that are just pure excellence.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think their first set play, the little trap that they have, and the paranoia that's designed to allow Kang to get out instead of actually go for more is lovely. But I don't understand exactly what PRX were doing with smoking the turret. They bloomed a smoke on turret. That wastes one that Mindfreak has available. He couldn't smoke off Flowers as a result, and they also didn't contact past him. Maybe a bit of communication error happening there in the pistol round on the audible. That can happen when you have 5 IGLs on the team. Or none. I can't exactly remember which it is.
It's kind of a mixture. I mean, Forsaken sometimes takes the lead, but it's a bit more spread out. Everybody contributes. Very based.
Are going all the way through.
Yeah.
Looking like a snake just making loops around mid.
No fear at all. You wouldn't think they're on the eco, but here we go. Fully grouped up now with 5. This Paranoia is going to get incredible value. There it is. Contacts caught, near sighted up, but already the weapons are good. SMGs. Beam them all down, bring them all down. Plant stuck, so a bit of extra money. No chance to win the round though. EDG now leading. Quite a significant margin. All the guns are intact. The bonus is going to be nice. Prime Gaming Flawless said that a lot.
We certainly have. This is set up to be very interesting this second half. You've got Kang picking up the bonus round operator as well. So the buy is going to be really interesting.
I love it when people do this, honestly. Jet players or whatever. Operate on a bonus round. I mean, you almost come to expect it, I think, if you're going up against Kang. You have to always be checking the money to see if you can buy it. But
for sure.
It can often catch people off guard.
it's fairly likely that you're going to be able to, save it if things go disastrously wrong at the beginning, or get a Blade Storm online if you do end up popping off. So I think there's potential here.
No one meets him now.
Yeah, and they've actually left him the entirety of the A site. This is something that EDG have been doing a ton of recently, is stacking 4 players defensively on one side of the map and leaving the other just to Kangkang. Haodong's going to spot that out, though, and surely that brings nobody back.
Oh my, he's moving forwards here. He's trying to hold this down as well with the paranoia, but there's a smoke in his way. Something's there. Team at his back.
They've given so much space.
All there, and a shot missed. Going wide here for Kangkang. Back up onto the angle, but again, has to respect it and back away from the util being used. That needs to go down. Updraft. No one was watching the high ground position. Something, though, looked himself forwards. Catches the one towards the back here. Nobody will fall. 2 versus 3. At some point, you have to consider maybe saving or not. Smoggy already got the kill. Spotted out another player. Nana Swarm. There. Flash. Excellent. Isolating them, and Forsaken and Divide. Brilliant work from them.
PRX completely countering the idea there from EDG. There was certainly some danger still injected in there. You take a look at how they're able to entry, and it's, it's only Haodong with barely a weapon, just trying to scramble away and hold a bit of space. Great close once again. Forsaken and Divide have just been electric at closing out these rounds. Mindfreak too, actually, the supporting cast of PRX. One of the things they're doing incredibly well. Kangkang getting punished a little bit for biting the operator in the prior. He's only got a stinger here, 2 away from a Blade Storm. Meanwhile, Something has all the weaponry.
It might be about to gift them one, to be honest, as well. He's walking right into 3 players who take contact. Tucked to the corner, and nobody does. Here we go. It's instantaneous once more. Kangkang. Haodong had his back before eventually going down. Repositions now towards the back of the site. He wins that, really?
All down to Something. If he gets a pick, you might see him pop the Blade Storm and go for this.
Jump spot. He's looking for it. Information. Something. Granted it, is he? Surely. Spotted. Dash forwards. Updraft. Overzealous. And he's, well, just gifted the operator right back, as I was saying at the beginning. But EDG, around in a microcosm, it's what I love about this team, honestly, is actually they do a lot of this, the bait and switch. Someone takes contact, more players just holding close, tight corners. As the trade starts to come in, they can punish it.
And we're watching from Kangkang's PMV a lot of the time there, but Haodong actually sprayed down 2 as well with the Phantom, which is excellent value. At the moment, this operator's getting passed around like the Christmas present nobody wants. Where you just re-gift it the year later.
I've never done that personally.
Of course you haven't. You wouldn't want to out yourself publicly as doing that.
I mean, I've never done that.
So this is damaging for PRX.
It is.
And it really feels like this is much more of a competitive map where EDG have got a great read on things. They're out of their depth a little bit on Fracture. But here, looking strong. And certainly, I think we're witnessing a bit of a jet differential, which is a weird thing to say. I thought we'd see a huge amount of value coming from Something. But the moments, where he's given an opportunity to do the impossible, it looks, it gives it a good shot. But he's also just not finding the same level of consistent value that Kangkang is.
Maybe feeling a bit rattled on the big stage.
Could be. Could be.
That was always a concern as well, people talking about his debut on the international stage. That's why, it was so disappointing, I think, as well at Tokyo that we didn't get to see full-strength PRX, but elimination game, still a lot to play for, but we need to see the step up.
He's got another opportunity right here as well, Bran. He's got a Shorty and a Blade Storm. If there was anybody to be able to make this round winnable for PRX and stop the EDG momentum, it would be him.
Very delayed. Sees paranoia over the top. Something! He tried to react fast. As soon as the util was used towards A main, but
it's a great idea.
Yep, taken out of the sky.
It's a fantastic timing. He's just not hitting.
That is very fortunate.
Oh, I mean, Chishu's just got the read that somebody's going to be tucking into that corner. He just spams through the smoke. Disgusting.
Yeah, now left to their own devices here.
Kang doesn't realize Jing's in the corner.
Yeah,
hits
somehow,
it anyway.
Yeah, he'll sit it. I mean, yeah. Shouldn't be favored for it, but he hits it.
He just is, though, isn't he?
He is him.
This is looking like EDG are going to be able to get up to 11 here. Pretty resounding lead on Pearl. PRX are struggling to make things happen. Nobody on EDG really playing around the middle of the map. You know, if PRX want to try and create picks using their Jet and Phoenix, sometimes that's going to be with plays like this through B-Link or Art. That's not really where EDG are fighting.
Chichu still was 2 snake bites as well. It's just delaying them. They know exactly where these players are. They've made a ton of noise. The flashes connect out wide though. Got to hit these, and they do. Okay, pistols. Through with it. Maybe earn yourself an upgrade, but the plan has to be stuck. What's wrong with that? That's a TP right behind them. How long? Trying to put the squeeze. Yep, buying it. A bit of time. A distraction plays. Mindfreak. No health to really do anything at all. Kang with the knives. Single blade did it.
What a bold play by Haldong. There was always a chance there that somebody's just waiting around the corner for him to stick the ultimate and just swings instantly.
Yeah, for the punish.
But I think a really nice crossfire setup because the rest of his team is holding from that underneath area, almost exactly holding the corner. So, oh, that is really nice shots though, landing by nobody. A player that had a very rough map 1. Like I said earlier, 5 and 15 on Fracture. 0 and 5 in first kill to first deaths. A far, far cry from what nobody was doing the last time we saw him on the big stage. But he's just having a very solid map 2 with a couple of big moments.
It's the round that matters though. Look at it. State of affairs with the ultimates. PRX, plenty of them to use and dish out now. They have to win it. Why is EDG going to be put back up to map point?
The flash did not catch onto Kang.
Flicks down. Actually, okay, dashing straight into the box. Catching him out into the open. Nanoswarm's here, vulnerable up by Jing. Stun into the corner. Can't claim the kill, even with the ult. Get back. Call's gained. Playing on side is a risky business here. Nobody still has the Nightfall.
And they have massive ultimates to be able to close this out still.
Yeah, I would love to see a lockdown being used by Forsaken still, but
I think it'd be a great idea.
Nightfall used.
He's not going for it.
Oh, blaze it. It's a bit prior as well. I'm going to be able to hear these sound cues. Still working into the back of halls, weaving in and out of these smokes. Something is standing it. No, spam down in the midst of all of this. And I think this lockdown might be a little bit too late. They've already gained access to it still. It's going to come down to an absolute spam battle. Top of the box. Predicted. There's no attempt to try and fight over this one. Stand corrected. Lockdown precisely when they needed it. Now there's definitely no time to win this one out. So, overwhelming force of the ultimates. That's really what grants PRX that win.
And honestly, also a perfect timing with the lockdown.
Yeah.
As much as we were looking for it to come a little earlier, you know, Forsaken knows best. He pops down that lockdown, and Jing, instead of using his Phoenix Molly to, you know, have some kind of post-plant utility, he throws it down to stop them contesting the lockdown. It goes inside the Omen smoke. And look at that. How are you going to get through?
Good luck.
Not happening. So PRX pick one up. Draw this within 4.
They had to use a lot to get there. So far, EDG have been more than in control.
Here's another big flash. On B, PRX looking like they want to set up just for a Cosmic Divide hit onto the B site. ADG are going to challenge it with a bit of a trap play, actually.
So C's being used as soon as the flash is sent flying off to the side here. Caught out in the open behind the screens. Fight 1. How long? Falling. You give this up? The answer is yes, but nobody's been just left out to dry. He doesn't have an escape mechanism. Kang. Feels like he has to do something in that instance when they've lost so many players.
Major fights won by PRX there. Great idea from EDG, and they're still going to be able to pick up Jing and make potentially a goal with this. Chishu looks like he's backing all the way off though.
He's saving. Has to.
Smoggy can still prod potentially because it's only Chishu that wouldn't be able to buy.
I would like to see Smoggy prod. He's one away from the ult.
Yeah, potentially that could be a great decision there for EDG, but they're just going to maximize the weaponry instead.
Here.
I actually really like the idea from EDG too. They have, you know, if PRX decide to use a Cloudburst or a Recall Star to try and cross over towards B, there was a seize for anybody that would be walking through the smoke, a paranoia for them to try and get aggressive onto them. And instead we see big results from something. Entering around the corner, great counter utility being thrown towards Pillar, and PRX barrel forwards. They even managed to save that Cosmic Divide, so it's usable for the next round. And at this point, PRX are having great success on B.
Start sending it.
Look how nice that is, though. You have Trailblazer into a pull, into a Nanoswarm.
Yeah.
The on-the-fly utility that PRX throws, it feels like set plays, even when they're just cooking it up on the fly. They're so well coordinated with the micro.
I mean, it's going to go B again. At the barrier, 4-1 split. Forsaken's job to watch mid here. Nobody needs to get out alive. It's really quite critical. He's playing close to the pillar, though. How does he escape this flash in his face? This is such a weird position to play. I mean, he's really got no way to get out, and yeah, he's brought down.
That is not the most intelligent play that we've seen nobody go for, and he is a player that likes to go high risk, high reward, but he's got no exit strategy there at all.
Really strange. Cosmic Divide to be used. Drop down. Blow up the site once more. Paranoia, it's fast. EDG looking to fight towards the backside of Hall's flash in their face from Jing up top onto the box. Needs to be watched for. Space wasn't given up. Jing just walking up onto these angles. Dangerous game he is playing. Tap onto it. Kang with a dash back towards Halls here. What is the play here for EDG? Smokes. It's more. Going to be used to split this one up. A tap onto the plan as well. See if they can make EDG overstep themselves, but they're all reloading! And it's Prime for the taking!
Jing with the Phoenix ace. Ult online, tactical timeout instantly. Hit the red button. There's problems here, starting from the very beginning with the way that nobody was positioned.
I mean, that's so smart. And Jing, he does this play, smokes a drop down, they tap the spike, I think about 3 or 4 times during the midst of this, and it forces them to spam all their bullets, trying to get a cheeky kill. 2 players reloading at the same time. Jing hears it, goes for the swing.
What a punish. Brent, I want to tell you a story. The last 2 times that these teams faced in Tokyo, EDG probably favored. PRX were playing with a substitute. EDG looked like they were going on a run. They'd already taken down Loud, playing here for a top 4 finish, and they let slip an 11-4 lead. It just slipped through their fingers. They couldn't hold on to it. They couldn't close out, and they ended up losing the series 2-1 in heartbreaking fashion. This is not the same size of a lead, but they were up 11-6, and now it's within 2. EDG are so close. They're within touching distance of sending us to Pearl. They just need to find 2 more ideas that work, and we would be there. Potentially seeing a Raze Reyna play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bind would be so fascinating between these 2 squads. And instead, I mean, look, PRX are massively favored to win this round as well and get the score back to 10-11. What is going on with the economy right now?
It's all over the place.
Nobody's...
I don't know if anybody's going to be able to afford to buy this one, but I mean, I guess the loser's bonus is kicking in at this point.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, unless nobody literally buys not a single thing. Nanoswarm up top there. Lovely.
PRX, they don't mix it up, man. If broke, don't fix it, so... Already using the util, that's just going to be for the Nanoswarm and the alarm bot. It's in the usual spot. That molly lands, so Chichu can't fight this one. Flash for the Trailblazers. It's all coordinated together towards the back, though. There's a judge waiting for them. Do they dare step? Do they dare venture? Kang falls. It's PRX in control. Lovely response. Ready for it. And something in their faces. Here I stand. He screams it at them.
What a vintage something play. He loves going for stuff like that. The shorty, just his favored weapon of choice. I was asking for a moment like that because it feels like he's found it a little tough to get the value. Sure, this one, a little bit of an anti-eco kind of situation, but you know, Smoggy had the weaponry to try and do something, and he got his ankles broken.
Brutalized, man. Something, he needed that, I think, for confidence. Get him back into it. He's not even yet in terms of the kills, but he's the playmaker he can be.
This round is everything for EDG. And their economy is not in a good spot here. And they've used a Viper's Pit to lock down B right from the start.
I actually quite like this pit as well. It cuts off the common angle where you want to use your lockdown. So Forsaken's got this one, but they have to clear out the pit if they want to use it. makes it so difficult for them to just hit B.
But look at the alarm bot. The alarm bot is lovely from Forsaken. You wouldn't believe that he's only just become a Sentinel player. And in fact, they're using the lockdown just to clear the Viper from the pit, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean...
No, they've decided better of it. Someone with the counter core.
Seems like a low-value play, but... He's heading back over here now. Okay, does want to go for it.
I feel like that's a pretty reasonable idea, to be honest. Countered instantly.
Yeah. No one can really take the space up. Jing is getting brutalized. Burned to a crisp there. Tons of utility. Just meant for the ult. The lockdowns exchanged. Kang. He falls. 2 players detained. I mean, there needs to be a defense here. Definitely players watching his back. Something tucked to the corner. Chichu was baited into it. Thought he was alone. Not quite. What an insane play to make in the moment here. Dog forwards. Smoggy spotted. Again, he's being approached from every perceivable angle. He cannot do it. Not alone. Nobody in Haodong. At this point, almost forced to just save here, but it's brutal, man. It's going to be 11-11.
It's an absolute disaster for EDG. They're not even able to save a single weapon into it. Sure, the score is tied, but that's not the way that this map is currently going. It's 5 in a row for PRX. And an economy advantage heading into the final round. Or, sorry, heading into the next round.
Yeah, 2 more in regular time. Yeah, the money situation is weird. EDG losing their grip, really. Flashbacks to the fashion of which they lost the last time these 2 teams played. Josh, you were talking about it, the story of it.
Yeah, I mean, that one was utterly brutal. They just couldn't put together any attacking rounds on Fracture. We've already seen Fracture. It's gone. It's in the past. Out of their minds. And EDG would have been feeling so confident earlier on. You know, beginning of the second half, they got together a nice half. 7-5, got up to 9-5. Sure, they lose the bonus, but that's to be expected. They're rattling forwards. In control on Pearl. 5 rounds later, defeat is a serious possibility. EDG's economy is in such a rough spot right now. They're in a weird position where most of the players could buy, but Shishu doesn't have enough money. So the question becomes, do you force up here with 4 rifles?
So difficult.
I mean, play for it all, knowing that your buy is going to be broken in the final round if PRX do get up to 12? Or do you try and take a save and play for OT?
It's what they're discussing now, I imagine. It's what the timeout's for.
I think...
What's the call
I think in theory the correct play is to try and force here, because at least you'll get something together the next round. You want to try and get yourself up to 12.
It's all in. We're right back into it.
But this is so tough for Chishu.
Smoggy is catching. First sign of utility, immediately respects it by backing away here. Still has nanoswarms again, but they're placed. Just a single nanoswarm actually breaks the alarm bot. Still 2 remaining. Onto the site, deading them now. The wall to cut across, but the site has been given up in its entirety. Alarm bot, Divine, tapping. Now sticking for the plan. It's going to be this scenario for EDG. You're going to have to try and play this one into the retake.
Oh,
Not the weapon. Kang has everything to do. Into the corner, Dash is there. Here's the footsteps, beautiful kill. Does he commit to this one a bit further? Tap, forcing out the util. Rest of his team fighting for it, but they contain the flank and they bring them all down. 2 left standing once more. Can Chichu even find a rifle in the midst of all of this? They haven't even got the pull out. PRX, so many layers, not even using it actually.
I mean, Mindfreak's dead at the moment, Brent.
Losing my grip on reality here, but Forsaken is not. It's 12-11.
And one of the more critical kills in that round is something, winning the Jet head-to-head on the flank to stop the threat that is Kang. Kang playing the defensive side Jet, got up to 20 kills quite a while ago, and since then has only really been able to put 1 on the board. Created a threat, but the rest of the team just couldn't capitalize. PRX, 6 in a row, have just stolen the lead from EDG and now are on match point. EDG with a horrendous buy as PRX continue to just hammer it home into B over and over again.
There needs to be an answer, something to push them back. So many players out in the open. There's something plucked out of the sky. Jing close to the corner. Can't get a clean fight whatsoever here. Still, there needs to be a fight being taken by them. Forsaken. It's the last one left here, but this is EDG with everything to play for. Spikes there, swinging wide. Kang brings it to 12, brings it to OT.
After 6 in a row, EDG finally come up with the answer to be able to save this series. It's just a brawl.
Here.
The players defending, taking duels down B-long. A ridiculous aim duel. So overtime it is. Who does this favor? Forsaken's picked up an Odin defending over towards B. I don't know what kind of areas he's thinking of spamming there. Do you remember these clashes in A main, Brent? We've seen them so many times on EDG's attack half. Here it comes.
Resulting in a coin flip almost. TP past the box. PRX, they've been favored when they wait out this util and then they re-hit it afterwards. They're doing the exact same again. EDG, they need to be a bit better for this one. Jing, he was not blinded up, but Haodong hits the transfer, or at least the spray, down.
All 5 players from PRX grouped up
Fully
here.
grouped up, fully rotated. They want to make another go of this one, fighting into it. They all topple, and no one can withstand it. That's how the round ends, but EDG find themselves at that point.
Can they hold on? Can they close out? They haven't had a map point at any point, but they were at 11 for so long. The players just woke up here towards the end. The individuals were popping in those moments. They just took duels and won them. This has been the key in the last 2 rounds. Round 24 and 25 have been won by EDG taking fights and hitting heads. We've seen a lot of, you know, the map control plays and the dancing around and using utility and ultimates, sure. But also, when push comes to shove, it's just the raw fights that are deciding these towards the end.
Also, minor adaptations in terms of how they want to play it. You see PRX waiting a little bit of an instance, seeing what util's being used. They come back in with their own wave of it to try and fight back. In that power right there, I mean, Haodong saved his paranoia. He waited for them to use the dog, waited for them to flash to come through again, and just sent it flying, refighting again. It's these just little changes, the adjustments over these rounds and how these fights are being taken. It feels like brute force, and in most instances is, but there is the adjustments occurring.
When the defenders have 5 players stacked in A main, ignoring all the rest of the map, and the attackers continue to barrel through even when the Killjoy's dead, it feels like Blinker Vision a little. Khan picks up an operator though, heading into this to try and close things out for EDG and send us to bind.
Yep, he's watching B.
That's where the spike is.
It's going to be a smoke in his face most likely, or at least a wall, something to block off this angle. Flash. The record smoke. Kang now. He's left wondering if they have crossed. We know differently, of course.
Haodong's got a paranoia.
Yeah, it's off the alarm bot through double doors, but
presumably he's also going to pull off as soon as the turret takes contact. And in fact, after 20 seconds pass, he decides to just drift over there anyway.
There it is. Does he let it rip? Does he let it loose? Turret's already broken, grouped up. PRX almost in their entirety here, split up. They've taken A main control. Paranoia, re-clearance, fight. Something was out of position for it, but he still loses that one. And for Main, it struck PRX. They pick their timings, they pick it well.
They collapse the trap back on top of EDG. And this is almost certainly going to another round of OT unless Khan can pull out the impossible.
Last cannon. No armor, just the operator. On smoke. Too many angles to watch. And look at that. I mean, they are not letting him get away with anything.
Not a chance. What a round from PRX. It's a great work there to avoid that trap from coming through. I mean, something's the first death, but he's also playing anti-flash, ready to swing, and the rest capitalize. You know, Mindfreak is there, ready to stop the second wave of the push coming through, and the reaction from the A main players is instant and excellent. No streaks of rounds happening here. Back and forth. And no major clash happening at one side of the map or the other. Though PRX are stacking 4 towards A, it's not for a fight on the extremity to begin. Forsaken hasn't even used his turret or alarm bot yet. He's waiting to deploy them in case EDG just run to A.
Run to A or even just use utility to clear it. We're just waiting to see if there was a snakebite or an Ana Swarm pulled out of them, which there wasn't. EDG still have all of them intact. Mid control gained. Here's the change in pace. I mean, we haven't seen mid explore too much. EDG only prodding with 2 players. It feels like both teams are very scared of any chance of trap plays.
Does this Prowler catch? It does not, and something's got a chance.
Back on the line. Here we go! Adjustment with the micro aim. Jing's there. Immediately to push them back away from Art. This is EDG into the side flash. Out wide, KangKang surviving a little bit too long.
But PRX finish it. It's the duelist players with Something and Jing that closed the door on EDG in that round. Excellent play by Something over in A main, and Jing picked his timing to try and fight towards Art beautifully too. Usually it's the rest of the squad kind of setting these guys up for success. And here, they just decided to take the fights themselves. There was 3 players dropped before you could even blink. And Forsaken's shaking with the anticipation of being able to put this team away. What a comeback this would be. PRX. They have a match point to work with.
Look at this timeline, man. String of rounds they've got. One more round will do it. Once more bringing it back away from EDG. It's heartbreak for them. PRX look to sail the way to that 2-0. This is the beginning of it. Turret's broken. Dash forwards from Something really now. These anchoring players are going to have the most to do. It's Chichu and Smoggy. Here the util being used. They know they've lost control of mid at the same time. It's forced rotations away, but it's just slowed down a tad, and now you're going to see it sped up once more. Smoke drop down to try and get them in. Smoggy into the back of Halls. Him and Chichu have finally done it. Time has been purchased and bought. Forsaken, it's a 1v3. Does have the spike and lots of time, yet chooses to take the fight anyway through them. It's watched for 14-14. Said it was those anchoring players, Josh. They had the most to do and they did it.
What a step up. Feels like both of these teams are just trying to get into position for large execs onto sites at this point. Going for a bit of a contact play and then deciding to burst through. Awesome fights from Smoggy there. And now, situation reset. You can see what it means on both sides. EDG fighting for survival here. Not an elimination match, but survival in the match itself to head over to buy. We have an operator on both sides, and both jets are heading towards each other.
Similar scenes, Prowler catching.
Something there is just waiting for somebody to peek off the back of the Prowler. That's why he takes it full to the face.
Just waiting though, retreated towards the back of the side. PRX are looking into mid. It's a recleanse with the flash. That is risky from Jing. Lots of positions where you can play anti-flash, and EDG, look at this mid-round response. Contacting up and re-clearing, they hit the head straight through the wall. Jing is weakened. Molly at his feet. Another flash as well as the second one used here, and he is in a bit of danger. There's a pull. Used to support him. At the feet, nobody can really scale particularly fast. KangKang now still with a dash, hits the lamppost. On there, clearing the way over the top. Not missing well. Shots, the bullet's not hitting. PRX in a commanding control of every single area.
And the rotates are just coming through so quickly. As soon as EDG show their hand and realize that they want to commit through Art, everybody from PRX is there. There is no thought that there could be a lurker causing pressure on the other side or some kind of feint happening. Both teams realizing that the other is going to be one-dimensional in these moments when the pressure is the highest, and everyone from PRX collapses. It is whiffy too from KangKang, who decided at the final moment not to go for an operator and pick up the rifle. Now once again heading into the next, both jets are going to have rifles again. And PRX with another chance of being able to close things out. They have been hammering B hits home time and again. This one looks slightly different with Something and Mindfreak coming from B Link.
Again, it puts all the pressure on the shoulders of Haldong. This time KangKang joins him.
Howdong's holding another paranoia and he uses it early.
He doesn't cross, they know his position's there, he has to TP to get out of here. They're going to use Yuto to clear him inside lane. Jonathan Leander, it does not work out. Smokey, he shuts that down. One avenue, not watched for, but still the wall allows them to cross. Stun is there, out in the open. PRX, it's all forsaken. He's earned himself the lockdown. This is disastrous.
The
Anchored brilliant, man.
The Anchored players are struggling so much to be able to capitalize on what had happened in B-Link. They just got stuck inside the site. Forsaken's about to drop 30 and close this out for PRX. Jing wants to fight!
Flash connects! Kichu's blinded. Still hits it, still brings him down. 2 versus 2. Position's got to be known. Sees, no connection. Spam through, but a crossfire is too damn good. And it's PRX completing the run back. They're making playoffs in a 2-0 fashion.